item 10A, B on resources. I spoke about this at the last meeting. Children in K through 12 are minors, not adults. 6th grade children are 11 and 12 years old. Books like Land of the Cranes, that espouse certain biases, depict horrific prison conditions of freezing cold, moldy frozen food, minimal and filthy toilet facilities, verbal, physical, and sexual abuse of children are not appropriate for children of this age. Except that the novel is told by Bertita, a 9-year-old girl, I cannot understand why children's book reviewers or teachers here at South Middleton and your curriculum committee would consider it for 6th grade children. The author, Ada Salazar, also includes many Spanish words and phrases which are not translated nor can be understood by context. The mythical story of the Cranes, as told by Bertita's father, is the basis of the main theme of the story: justification for illegal immigrants to come into America or any country despite borders and laws. People, cranes, and other species, Salazar says, migrate to survive. She does not tell the reader that birds and animals live by the laws of nature and do not have to obey laws and borders of nations. She further writes in her letter to the reader at the end of the book, quote, the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy saw thousands of migrant children, mostly Central American, separated from their parents, kept in cages, and treated inhumanely. This policy also brought about an increase in the number of migrants who died trying to cross the border or while in custody. Despite worldwide protest over the clear violations of human rights, this administration continues to hurt asylum-seeking children and families as its laws change for the worse each day to our continued horror. There is no compassion when migrants arrive, nor is there any understanding for the reasons people are forced to flee their homelands with their children. I am heartbroken and appalled not only by the Trump administration or previous administrations, but also by everyday citizens who support the message of hate towards immigrants, unquote. I will say here that the choice of this book is full-on evidence that CRT is being presented in South Middleton, despite all the denials of it when questioned by parents and residents. To that point, I cite Mr. Estep's recent letter dated November 8, 2021, on the school Facebook page. I won't quote what he said, as I'm sure you all read it, and know he says we have been duped if we believe CRT is in South Middleton. Well, here it is. The illegal immigrants are the oppressed. Americans are the oppressors. Mrs. Sellers came up to me after the last school board meeting and said that keeping this book on the list was an opportunity for parents to be involved in deciding whether their children should read Land of the Cranes or not. I said I thought it was the opportunity for the school board to do the right thing. So hard. The right thing and strike it. Strike it from the choices. I fully believe that the Land of the Cranes should be removed from the 6th grade book list. I have read a few other books in the hopes that I could find one I could suggest in its place. Out of the Dust by Karen Hess is one book I would highly recommend. It was written in 1997 and received the Newbery Medal, as well as many other national book awards. It is written in verse from the viewpoint of a 14-year-old girl, Billie Joe, in 1934-35 Dust Bowl, Oklahoma. Billie Joe recounts the harshness and despair of the times, the death of her mother and newborn brother, and Billie Joe's own injuries in a kerosene fire, and her subsequent troubled relationship with her father. Her life is incredibly full of challenges, but it is an uplifting story and is based on historical fact. I urge you all, school board members, to read both of these books, Out of the Dust and Land of the